So I had a couple clients or calls this week from a couple that are having a hard time dealing with recent events, right? So I want to talk about that in a roundabout way, in a spiritualist way. And so I want to talk about grief, right? Because that is what it boils down to me as, right? Something happened, we need to grieve, and then we need to keep it moving, right? Those are my words these days, just keep it moving, right? And so it seemed like it was such a big, huge event that some people thought it was like, I can't get through this. And so the best way that you're going to handle things that feel so big are to look for smaller griefs that happen every day, right? The sun comes up, it goes down. Do we ever be like, oh, the sun died? No, we enjoy the moon. We keep it moving, right? So that's something that, we can do every day. Little things, I go as far as my pen stopped working. So that's a small grief. Like, oh, so gonna put that to rest, and I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna get a new one, right? And the more we do that, the less these events will feel so massive, right? For me, it didn't feel massive, right? I'm guided by spirit, and I know it now. It just keeps shows itself to me, right? 9/11, I got a call that said, don't go to work. I didn't go to work. And so I watched it all, and I missed all the drama from everybody else in the office, right? So from then I listen to spirit now, and it shows me stuff all the time, right? It's just these subtle things we got to get used to. So the other day, turned on the television. It was, I don't know, 7 o'clock or something like that. And I was watching this event, and within 3 minutes, it was like, get out, get out, get out, right? So I didn't watch any of it at all. In the morning, I woke up, oh, here's what happened, right? And so to me, it's like, okay. So again, spirit was like, you don't have to go through this drama, being pushed and pulled and pushed and pulled and pushed and pulled, right? And then boom, something happens, right? So you always got to, everything is spiritual. So you got to find a way to see that everything is spiritual, right? It's like, I was thinking about it, and it was like, so this happened, so nothing changes for me, right? It's like, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go to the bathroom the same way, right? Nothing's going to change like that. I got to go to work, right? Things are not going to change like that. And so I'm not discounting what happened, but I understand that whatever I focus on, I will create something based on that. And if I'm so emotionally and so grounded up in it, whatever I create is going to be even bigger feeling for me, right? So that's how I deal with that. It's like the sun is still gonna come up, no matter who wins or who loses, right? They can't stop that, you know. So it's like, that's what I'm looking at. Like, do we believe in God? Yes or no? Or do we believe in God only when it suits us, when it's working for us? And then if we don't believe, then it's like, we're mad. Like, if you believe in God, you believe in God, right? All these things are just events, again, right? I told somebody, it's like, look, what's the worst case scenario? 4 years, right? And then for me, my hands were off. Okay, yeah, you know. And again, it was like, do you believe in miracles? Maybe a miracle will happen. So I'm going to go to the future and I'm going to pull some miraculous event and I'm going to bring it to me now. That's what I'm going to work on, right? That's the way I'm going to do it. And I understand that there's multiple simultaneous lives on earth going, happening all right now. And the way you focus, then you're going to move to that version, right? We're going to, so I may be looking at you and you may look the same, but, I may be going this direction and we may just cross paths now almost, right? That's how you're going to look at it. And the people that are crazy will go this direction and they'll be dealing with things on that earth, right? But it's how you think about these things over and over and over and over, right? That's how we're going to get through these huge shifts, right? Right now, we need to believe that we have the power to do anything, right? Right? Almost like we gave our power up. Like, this person wins, oh, give my power. This person wins, I'm going to give my power. No, you keep your power and you believe that you can do whatever you want to do. And that is so, unless you don't believe it so. It is so for all of us. That's how you're going to get through these events. Like, things will happen. What vibration are you putting on it? Are you putting on it as a negative vibration? And then your life goes that way, right? I see positive things, and so my life is going that way. And you can't tell me anything different, right? That person can't come in. He's not going to come by and drive by and be like, hey, how you doing? Right? I care nothing for that. I care like, hey, are my folks happy? Are my folks feeling good? Because I know what goes around comes around. Right? I believe that wholeheartedly. Right? And you really can't stop time. I don't care what you do. Right? But now is a time where we should get together. Like we should be doing all the time. Right? We should be doing that. Again, I bring up 9/11. Everybody was praying for people they never seen, don't know, never heard of. And then once it's after a while, we don't do that anymore. Now, here is another opportunity for us to, hey, let's get together and do the things that we should have been doing all along. Let's get into groups, let's talk about the things we want to happen, right? Let's not bring fear from the future into the present, or fear from the past into the present, right? Why are we even doing that? Because we don't believe it matters. We don't think it affects us. That'd be the only reason we do that. Because we don't know the ramifications of continuing to think negative. We don't, if you're doing that, like I know if I keep thinking negative, something's going to happen to me that's going to present itself in a negative fashion. And so there's certain things I will not say, some things I will not do. And if there are things I do, it will be for a second or two and then I'll correct myself, right? Because we have to keep the energy wound up, right? Most people that I talk to, I call them clients that call this week, we're in a negative mode, right? So they call me and we talk through some things. It's like you can't go back and change it. What happened? So why are you worrying about it, right? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to happen? Why are you not thinking that? Let's just think that way, right? There are things that, like Spirit said, it's like, well, things are going to get worse before they get better. Like, okay, I get that. I get that, you know, but let's get together with people we know who are on the same wavelength so we can just help us through this grief that's happening right now. Because we got to grieve, right? The energy is huge. We got to grieve. So let's do that. Accept it. I'm grieving, right? Something I didn't want to happen happened for whatever reason, you know. I had expectations, and I was told don't have those because usually they get you're disappointed because it didn't work out your way, right? I, I expect nothing. Here's what I want to do. Here are the things I want to do, right? These are the things I want to do. So we're gonna. I cried with them, right? Because they're like, I can't get through this. I don't know how to wrap my head around it. It's like there are bigger things happening than we know of, than most people know of, right? There's so many things happening. And I don't know if I can even talk about some of that stuff standing up here, but there's so many good things happening that's hidden from the masses, right? Those are the things I'm focused on. Are we going to get some healing energy coming?
Yes.
Are we going to get some healing techniques coming?
Yes.
Are we going to get some technology coming to help us?
Yes.
Yes, we're going to do that. It's already out there. We just have to get in this mindset and then get in the same vibration as that thing, and then it comes to us. Nothing comes from the government, right? The government's doing what it's supposed to do, take care of itself. We're not doing what we're supposed to do, take care of ourselves. So I don't fault the government. I don't fault mass media. I followed them for a little while. Here's how they put it to me. Have you ever seen a horse race where they're neck and neck and neck and neck and neck and neck, and then 2 minutes later, they're this far apart, right? I've never seen that. And so the person calling the race has some bad information then. Was it intentional or not? I don't know. You understand? Because you can't be neck and neck and neck and neck, and then you win by a landslide. So somebody guided me to a certain way, thinking a certain thing, and then boom, right? That's the way I looked at it. When that happened, I was like, I will not watch the mass media anymore. I did, but I look at it different now, right? Because if you're easily offended, you're easily controlled. Because I can say something to you, and you get all mad, and it's like, and then I say you something else, and then I got you going. So you're being controlled, right? That's your emotional state. Up and down, up and down. And there's people that are making money off that. Us being scared and there are people making billions. I'm scared, you're scared. No, let's create some war. Let's spend money and let's get all these weapons. And somebody's making billions. They got us that way, right? Because we go up and down watching what they see. And, the government is never going to come out and say you can heal yourself, because then we don't need them anymore, right? They have to be forced to do that. And how they're going to be forced to do that? When we get together in our little communities and we say, this is what we want. They're supposed to work for us. We don't really believe that too much. But once we get our crap together, as we sit together and like, these are the things we want. I love you. We're going to get to this together, right? You need something. You got some bread. I got some water. Let's get together and let's have a feast. That is how we're going to get through things like this. Everything runs in cycles. Thank you. Everything runs in cycles. It comes and goes. Everything. Day, night, summer, winter. Everything runs in cycles. This too shall pass, right? This too shall pass. right? All it does is just how do we react to it, right? And again, it's okay to grieve, but are we going to grieve for 4 years? No. Right? No. We're going to grieve for a little while, and then we're going to catch ourselves together, and then we're going to keep it moving. That's how we're going to keep getting through these things, right? They scare us into thinking these things, and that will never happen, right? 90% of the things that we're scared of never happen. We think they're like, oh, but they never happen. But the object is to just keep you separated from yourself, separated from all of us who think the same, right? And then they can go do what they need to do. But once we get together, like to me, when I see the future, we're little communities all over. And we're all helping each other. This happens in Africa. I forgot the word. Where I watched the, because as I watch TV, I pull what I want to watch. So I watched this African tribe, and it's a communal cooking. Yes, that's it. What's it again? It's Uburu. It starts with a U, right? So where? Umbuto. That's it. Umbutu. That's it. Where we're all working together, right? I grow rice, you grow meat, whatever it is, and then we share. I was watching the tribe, and they're all sitting around outside cooking. And when I see outside cooking, I mean there's 3 rocks, there's a pan or bowl, and they're cooking for all of us, for all of them, right? That's what we need to do with all our little businesses. We just need to help each other, right? Join the little fair. We didn't have a lot of traffic, but I made sure I go and I look at other people's stuff, and I got their card, and I bought from them, and I shared energy with them, right? And that's how we're going to get through all this kind of stuff that seems so big, right? Break it down into little bitty segments, right? And don't worry about, I don't even know how I should say it that way. You can be, do, or have, or whatever you want, right? Again, I always say we were born with that, right? We just don't know we were. Nobody tells us we are. We were born with everything we need to make it through any situation, right? We were born with it. And as I'm doing my research, it's like we were born with so much more, right? Again, we can make bread out of air, ether, ectoplasm, so we can feed ourselves with nothing because we have the power to do that, right? But right now we're just, the technology had us like dependent that, hey, you don't need this, we can do it for you. Yeah. But at some point, you can do it for yourself, right? Like Mom used to always say, you don't need the books, right? You know it all already. You don't need the crystals, right? You can do it all, right? But sometimes we need those tools to get where we're going, and then we can discard the tools, right? We don't need the tools, but the tools are there for a reason, so that we can realize I'm creating it. And if I'm creating it, I can create something else. I was going to say we're creating it so we can uncreate it. There's no such thing. We can create it. And if we don't like it, then we can create something else and let that thing balance itself out, right? Right now, those that call me were fighting against what happened. And fighting against anything will not get rid of it. Because everything is energy. And if I'm fighting against you, I'm giving you energy. And I'm building you up even though I don't even want to, right? I'm keep thinking about it. It's like the tar baby, I always bring it up, We're fighting the tar baby. So I'm punching. Okay, my hand's stuck. Oh, my other hand's stuck. Oh, my feet are stuck. Me call my neighbor, yo, help. And everybody's stuck because we're fighting this thing and expecting it to go away. Magically, if we think of something else, that thing goes away. Right, because we're not giving it any more energy. It goes somewhere where other people want to fight it. Cool, right? So we fight in a different way. If you don't like what's happening, this is what we should be, folks. This is what we want to do. This is what it should look like for me. And I'm just going to keep thinking that. I keep thinking we're all going to be together. We're all going to be having fun. We're all going to be growing, right? That's the way I'm thinking, because I can see it. I can feel it. Like I can taste it. Like Abraham says, pre-paving the way. I can see it. I can taste it. We're living on the beach. That's our latest. I don't usually tell people this stuff. That's our manifestation. We're going to live on the beach. We're going to be able to see it. We're going to be able to walk on the beach in the morning, in the evening. We're going to watch the sun rise. We're going to watch the sun set. We're not going to pick up shells anymore because we got a million of them. We're just going to enjoy them as we see them, right? Because we always want to let's just collect them. No, leave the stuff as it is. Enjoy it as it is, right? I see us walking. I can feel the sand. It's like I'm about to wipe my feet before I go back in. And so we just got to keep thinking about these things we want until all of a sudden we're on the beach. Until the things we want to see happening in the world happening, right? But we got to start with self. Start with self. Are you mad when the guy pulls out in front of you? Start with self, right? If you didn't get what you want, are you mad? Start with self. And it just takes practice. It just takes practice. I'm 66. I've probably been in a positive state for, say, maybe 30 years, maybe. Before that, it was turmoil. I was going back and forth, up and down, this and that. Now I realize, hey, I'm creating it, as Abraham says. I'm creating it. So this is what I want. That's why I'm standing here before you right now, because I kept going despite what anybody says. Before I started lecturing here, they told me no. When I first started here, they told me no. That's like, okay, cool. I just kept studying. And then things happened, and I was lecturing here every day, because every Sunday, because I saw that. And I kept studying no matter what they said. I kept doing, this is my vision. This is what I see, right? Other people didn't see it. That's fine. I saw it. And so I'm here. And if I can do it, then you can do it without any doubt. And that's what this spiritualist religion is about. We're going to help you see your vision. How do you get there? We can help you do that. We're not going to give you a vision, as most people do. What's your vision? Let's help you get there, right? That's what we're here to do, right? Where do you want to go? Okay, so this is how I went. This is how I went. I went left, right, right. Okay, you don't have to go that way, but maybe that works for you. As the spiritualist, as me as a spiritualist, that's my task, is to help you get where you want to go, right? And then if you make a decision that doesn't feel right, then I'm okay. Hey, let's just make another one, right? We all make mistakes, but there are no such thing as mistakes, right? There's lessons in all of it. There's lessons in me expecting these things, and it didn't happen. Like, as a lesson for me, I'm going to go back to the drawing board. And like, why did I expect that to happen? Right? We're in a patriarchy, right? And it's a fight. I've been brought up with all women in a household. And always been a fight. And I believe, it's the first woman, the first black woman. It's a tough fight, right? You just got to keep going. This happens, okay, we just got to keep it moving. Let's not stop because this thing happened. Let's just keep it moving. Let's just teach our kids. Like, I'm recording this because I want my kids to know, right? My mama didn't get to see me speak, right? So I'm recording this because she's always around. Wanda can tell you. She's always around.
She's seen
right?
Speak Cledston.
Right. As now she does, yes. Right. And so, but I want this. And when I say I want my kids to see it, my friend Chris is on here. It's like my kids are your kids are my kids. And so as I want for my kids, I want for your kids. Right. And that's how this Ubuntu, I think it is. That's how it works. That's how when back in the day it was the village raises the kids. Because but that happened back home in Barbados. It's like if I did it wrong, you know, I got whooped at school. I got whooped when I got home. If I was doing something on the way, somebody told my parents, right? Everybody raised everybody. That's how we need to be right now in little groups, right? Right now we don't even know our neighbors, right? I know my neighbors right now, right? But most of us, I guarantee you, 90% of us don't know our neighbors or don't like our neighbors.
Well, that
right, so we don't, so we don't talk to them, right? But start like, hey, you know, you need anything, right? Like, good morning. I'm gonna end with this one. Back home, when we're walking down the street, I'm at home. I'm walking down the street. We take the bus. I'm walking down the street, workmanship. Good morning. Everybody's saying good morning to me or me to them. I'm walking down to town. I'm walking by the bus stop. Good morning. People say to you, good morning. Right? Because that's how we need to be. You know, I got to New York. I said good morning. And they're like, you know, what'd you take? Right? That's how we need to be. That's how we need to be. And then when you say, right now I had to learn it, when you say good morning, I expect nothing back from you. Because I'm just saying good morning because I feel good and I share that good morning. Whether you say that back to me and I get mad, that's my ego. I really didn't want to say good morning. I just said that to get back good morning from you, or I love you. I said that to get back I love you. No, I say I love you. If you don't say I love you, that's fine. That's fine. That's how we need to start looking at these things, make them smaller, 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 and then we can get through them easier. They'll come up. I was going to talk about the law of rhythm. Everything comes back around. Everything's coming back around. Seasons come back around, right? And that's how we need to look at that. All right. So I'm going to close now with that. I can talk a little bit more about certain things once we get done here, because I won't be constrained at this point. All right, cool. Thank you very much for letting me spill my beans. All right. My task today was, because on the way here, it's like some people will come with negative emotions. I want them to leave those with me. If you feel negativity, leave it with me. I'm going to transmute it. There's a law of transmutation. We can transmute energy into whatever we want. If you can't do it and you feel the need, I'm built for that. Just give it to me. If you can give it to me, give it to me. I'll come hug you in a bit. If you can give it to me, give it to me. I'm built for that. Because it's going to come and I'm going to transmit it. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to dig in my garden and pull up them weeds. And I'm going to use that energy for something different. Right? Thank you.